told our coaching staff in the locker room that I've only been involved in one other game like that that I can remember when I was an assistant coach. Certainly the stakes weren't nearly as high, but I was an assistant coach at Wake Forest, and we played Arkansas in the preseason NIT. And I think at one point we were up 25, and we ended up winning by 1. In the game, like tonight, I felt like if it had gone to overtime or we would have played 3 more minutes, we might have lost by 17. And I don't think it's anything other than we missed some free throws, and you can't stop momentum if you can't score. And Georgetown started to solve the zone that we had out in the second half. I thought we did a good job for the most part of taking care of the basketball, drawing some fouls. We did have a few turnovers down the stretch, but we've been the league's best free throw shooting team all year in conference play. And tonight we didn't do not even close to what we're capable of, especially down the stretch. But we hit enough at the very, very end to play tomorrow night.
Questions, please? Right over here.
Hey, Coach, talk about the swing of momentum after the technical foul. They got like a 5-point possession.
Well, it certainly changed the game. I didn't have the luxury of being able to see the monitor, so I'll leave it in those guys' hands. I do know that there have been some, double technicals called throughout the season, and not necessarily for guys being separated or pushing, but some taunting. And at least what I saw live, I felt like that could have been the appropriate call, but I'm not a referee. I'm just a guy that yells at him.
Over on the right, Zach.
You guys have had some great wins. You've had some obviously bad losses. Today, you played great for about 32 minutes, and you have 5 or 6 really bad wins. Is this a hard team for you to figure out?
No. Next question.
Over here on the left, Tom.
What does it mean to you and the program to be in the Big East Finals?
Means a heck of a lot. Means a heck of a lot. These guys sacrificed their summer. We went overseas to Brazil this summer. Basketball as a college athlete nowadays is 24/7, 365 days a year. In the Stone Ages when I played, you got to go home for the summer. And these guys stick around the entire summer. They take classes. And then to have 3 weeks off like you'd normally have at the end of summer session 2, he said, no, we're going to go over to Brazil and we're going to practice. And these two, took it like champions. And it's not the easiest thing in the world to start doing wall-up drills and taking charges in July. But we felt like it was necessary to get our young team together. And it's been a long journey. We've had ups and downs, but it means a lot. We've been in a lot of good leagues. This is obviously the best league, and we're playing for a championship tomorrow night.
Shannon.
Looked like JP rolled his ankle there. How's he doing, and how will that affect his availability tomorrow?
I really don't know. I don't think it looks good, to be honest with you, for tomorrow. The x-rays were negative, which is a good thing. But in terms of when he gets back on the floor, I couldn't tell you this soon.
Do you think it's an ankle sprain?
It is an ankle sprain, sorry.
Over here on the left.
Matt, down the stretch right after your turnovers, you were going back on the floor and had some confidence. What was it like for you to get yourself back in check?
We just wanted to make sure that we kept our team calm and that, we weren't going to implode on ourselves. We were in control. We wanted to play like we're in control. And, although we didn't, I think, have the best, leadership by us, that's something we're working on. But I think, we were able to handle it and win the game. So I'm happy.
Right here in front.
This question is for you, Dee. As a point guard, you weren't having a good shooting night. You had a poor night from the free throw line, but yet you didn't allow that to, frazzle you. You weren't turning the ball over or anything like that. Could you talk about how you were able to maintain and keep a level head even when they started pressing you guys?
Well, at my position, that's your job, is take care of the ball and make sure the team is calm and is ready to do what we need to do to win. And having a bad shooting night, it happens, but you just gotta go through it. And I made some big ones in the end to make me feel like I did all right tonight. So.
All the way in the back.
Chris, James Farr hasn't scored much recently, but it seems like he's gotten more minutes and sort of settled into a role. What are your thoughts on his play over the last few weeks?
I think he's done a great job. James has handled, maybe not getting as many minutes in the second half of Big East play like a champion. You know, he cares about our team winning, and he's come to practice every single day with a great attitude. That's what you need to be a team that plays in tomorrow night's game. You know, if guys start to pout, guys start to separate, that's when it becomes a problem. James hasn't done that. He's a terrific rebounder, and tonight we needed him on the floor.
Right here in the middle.
Coach, can you talk about your decision-making process with opting to foul up towards the end of the game?
I've had some negative experiences with not fouling. I was an assistant coach and watched Ron Lewis when we were up, the Ohio State game to go to the Sweet 16. We were up 3, and he hit a 3 to go to overtime and took all the momentum. And we felt like with 10 seconds, by the time maybe got to half court, these guys did a really good job of turning them. Maybe there'd be 5 seconds on the clock. I trust our guys at the free throw line to block out and rebound and inbound, and that's just the strategy we chose to go with.
Right here in front.
Coach, following 2 double-digit victories over Georgetown in the regular season, here in the semifinals of the conference tournament, was the game plan any different, or did you just stick to the plan?
In a quick turnaround, it's a very hard team to prepare for. As well as these guys played Georgetown in the first 2 games, it's also very difficult to quickly remember all the actions that they run. You know, the dribble handoffs, backdoor. But we tried, and I thought early on they got in a little bit of a rhythm. We decided to go to our zone. It was very, very effective, and we never got out of it. And we didn't play that zone in the first 2 games. I don't know how much Georgetown's seen. Again, they only have 24 hours to prepare as well.
Shannon.
For Matt and Dee, you guys don't seem to be afraid of any team, whether it's, you know, a ranked team or non-ranked team. You beat Georgetown 3 times ranked. What do you think gives you guys the best advantage in tomorrow's game against a Villanova team that you haven't beaten?
Believing in ourselves. You know, we came here to win a Big East championship. We didn't come here to beat Butler. We didn't come here to beat Georgetown. We came here to win a Big East championship, so that's our plan.
All the way on the right, Matt.
Hey, Chris, style-wise, where do you and Villanova most drastically differ?
I would say that they tend to play 4 perimeter players. I know they start Pinkston and Ochifu together, but the separator in game 2, in game 1 we were never in it. In game 2, the separator was when Josh Hart and Jenkins were on the floor, and that's really 4 guards in a small power forward, if you will. And that's the difference. You know, we can certainly play that way. We put Trey at the 4, but I also really like having Matt, Jalen, and James out there at the power forward and center position. So just the contrast in traditional lineup in the front court versus a 4 quick lineup probably be the major difference.
Going to do 2 more. There's one.
And their coach dresses a hell of a lot sharper than I do. So funny, Andy. It's so funny.
Hey, Matt, talk about the battle with Josh Smith tonight. He played nearly half the minutes that you played. You guys got in foul trouble pretty quickly. Talk about how that limited their role.
Yeah, he's a load to guard, and at the beginning of the game, he started to get rolling a little bit, and it was something where, hey, I got to make sure that sort of make him catch the ball out farther and not rely on my teammates so much to have to dig down, even though they did a good job of helping me. But I had to make sure that I was locked in and returning to him and going high side and making it tough for him because I know my teammates were going to do a good job of crowding, and luckily we got him some foul trouble and we were able to keep him off the glass for the most part. So yeah, it was a tough battle though.
Last question right there.
Chris, you mentioned the quick turnaround with less than 20 hours till tomorrow night's game. Explain a little bit about the process of preparing for Villanova.
Well, it's different for players and coaches. My main priority for these guys is to get back in their beds and get some rest. Put a lot of fluids in. Unfortunately, Villanova's a very, very simple team, but they're also really, really good. When I say that, they don't run all these different actions and 50 set plays. If we had to play Butler tomorrow night, that might be an issue. They run a million plays, but it's their players that get you, how hard they play. Our guys know them very, very well, having played them, in this true round-robin league a lot. So they'll rest a lot. We'll watch a lot of tape and figure out how they've really played here the first 2 nights. Obviously, they're not going to change a whole lot. They shoot the ball pretty well, I hear.
Xavier, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Chris.